Hi, my name is Drew, and if we haven't met before, welcome to ReadyBudgetGo. If this isn't your first visit, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here, and thanks for joining me for the weekly reel. This is the video where I recap my week in spending, I cover all the money that came into and went out of my life in the last week, and I talk about my real budget numbers, my real triumphs, and my real mistakes. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go! First thing is going to be a cash dump. And this is where I take whatever's left of the $50 that I give myself each week and I put it in a different pouch to go toward another project. So this week I don't have any change. And actually I should have 2 pennies, but they went through the washing machine. One of them came flying out of the dryer when I took my clothes out and skidded across the room, never to be heard from again. And I haven't found the second one yet. So no change this week. So I don't need that pouch and I don't need this pouch. But I do have about $39 left over, I think, because I only spent cash once. So let's see, 20, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 indeed. So this money is going to go into the Eagle pouch, and this will accumulate throughout the month. And then at the end of the month, I will set it aside to go toward overages on my Ready Budget Game videos that come out on Monday, and toward the Pirate Collab and Happy Mail Jail, which are the Thursday videos. So that's it for this pouch. Now I need $50 more for this next week, so I am going to get into this pouch and take out $50. This should be 100, 20, 40, 50, 70, 90, 100, yep. So that'll be for the last 2 weeks of February. But for now, this $50 is going to go in here, and this will be my spending money for this week. Okay, so that is sorted. Let me set those further to the side, and let me tell you about what happened this week. So I'm going to start with my big move project. So this is where I am relocating to another state. I have been spending money periodically for things that I need. So I have travel expenses, I have some moving supplies, and so if you haven't been following along, or if you don't remember, I am making a trip to Texas later this month. And I thought, well, why don't I just fly up to Ohio on the way back and check out, apartments and see where I might want to live and whatnot. So I had all that trip scheduled, and then the Texas trip, not the Trexas tip, but the Texas trip, moved out 2 weeks. And so I had to reschedule all my travel, and it has been a nightmare. Just a nightmare. But it's all rebooked, so I have a lot of extra charges in here for that, and refunds. This last week, I got a refund of $523.82 for the hotel because they wouldn't reaccommodate me through Chase. Now, this irritated me. And the reason it irritated me is because I had Chase on the phone and I was telling them that I needed to move the dates and add a day. And they said that they talked to the hotel in Ohio and they could not accommodate me. And I said, well, I'm on your travel portal right now and it says those dates are available at that hotel. Anyway, I couldn't make the representative on the line listen to reason, but he was willing to give me a refund, so that's what I took. So I took that refund and I rebooked the hotel on a different credit card. I didn't even bother with points or anything like that. I was just done. Normally, like I've said on this channel before, I don't pay for hotels. I use my credit card rewards to book them, but this time I was at my limit. So that charge has not yet hit the account. I have a reservation, but I won't get the actual room charge until I make the trip. So for now, I did a new subtotal here of how much I've spent, and it actually came down from the previous. But that new hotel reservation with that extra day and losing out on the travel benefit by going through Chase is going to cost me about $800. Also, the nights were more expensive when I rebooked. So that's fun. But let's talk about other things that happened this week that are much more positive. And this is still January. I need to move this to the back. So let me do that here real quick. Let me just pop everything out from January. And this will all go to the back of this section. all the way to the back. There we go. And slide right in here. So that way, when I open up to the monthly section, it will be for the right month. Okay. So this last week, no paychecks came in, and that is as expected. I don't get paid until the 15th. I will get paid on the 13th because they bring it forward when the 15th is on a Saturday or a Sunday. Excuse me. So I don't have that check yet, but I did deposit $455, which I got for selling my old laptop. So that was deposited. And then in terms of bills this week, YouTube Premium came out for $16 as expected. And I also had to pay a whopping $43 in renter's insurance. Now, I already paid renter's insurance last week, but this was for the February payment. My renter's insurance policy expires on March 2nd, which will be my 1-year anniversary at my current place. And if I renewed with the provider that I've been using, I would have had to print out the entire policy and go through all of these hoops and present the office with proof of insurance and fill out extra forms and all of that. Or I could use their provider and they would handle all that for me. So I thought, okay, sure. So I go through all of the insurance setup for renter's insurance, and they give me a quote that's about comparable to what I was paying before. Okay, fine. But they wanted this deposit, and there was like an extra setup fee and whatnot. So all in, it came to $43, and I am just done. So I paid the $43. I'm not going to keep this policy very long because I'm moving. So I paid for the convenience, ultimately, is what it came down to. Wallet expenses, $327.12. I will show you how that broke down here later on. In terms of stockpiles, I did put $100 toward my sinking funds and $658 towards savings and extra debt. Really, it's just savings for me. I don't have any debt. And that went into the emergency fund, and that was a transfer out of the big move because I'm spending money from the big move, and I'll talk about that more when we get to the savings section. For now, let's talk about cash flow. So this is my cash flow tracker. If you haven't seen this before, this is like a check register where I record everything that goes into and comes out of my checking account. So this week I had a deposit from selling the laptop. That was $455. I also had a deposit of $21.43. That was reimbursement from work for an expense that I put on a personal credit card instead of my work credit card for reasons. So $21.43. I did not record that in my expenses because it was a work expense and I knew they were going to reimburse me, but it did come through my checking account and I will use that money to repay the credit card. So then on the withdrawal side, I had a withdrawal of cash for $100 for additional savings challenges. And that was because I didn't have quite enough left over from January cash to do the Treasure Island Savings Collab and Happy Mail Jail. So I wanted to take a little bit extra out of the bank, so that's what that was. Quantum Fiber Internet came out, $75 as expected. And then I did transfer $2,000 to savings for my emergency fund, and I will show you how that is coming, and it is, oh, it's exciting. So, monthly expense tracker. So this is all of the money that I put on a credit card each month, and I do it by week. So that's why they're color-coded. They're all in red because this is the first week of February for me. So I had on the 6th, DoorDash, $34.10. And then on the 9th, Apple for $2.19. That was an in-app purchase of some kind. McDonald's, $10. And Costco, my weekly grocery shop, $157. Then on the 10th, I went and had my teeth cleaned, so I also got lunch. That was almost $21 for one person for lunch. And I went to Met Market, which is the bougie grocery store, and spent about $20 there because they hurt me at the dentist office and I was feeling my feelings. So I spent $20 at the grocery store. Then on the 12th, McDonald's again for breakfast, $10, and DoorDash, $22.51. And then I also record weekly cash as $50. Now, from the cash dump, you know that I didn't spend all $50, but I always record it as exactly $50 because to me it is the sunk cost. When I take that $50 out of my checking account and I take it for all the weeks in the month at the start of the month, I am essentially saying goodbye to that money as far as recording it, or tracking it rather. So every week I write down $50 in cash, whether I spent every single penny or whether I didn't spend any of it. Okay, so that is it for spending. Let's talk about savings. So, emergency fund is looking real good. Let me show you the tracker. So, last week I think I was here, and now with depositing that $200 plus the regular amount, which was $658 this week, I am all the way back up to here. And so I am more than halfway to my goal from where I started. I started at 7,000. I'm at about 12,000 right now, and the goal is 15,000. So I am like 60% of the way there, which is exciting. And to go into detail about how that breaks down, well, here's the $2,000 from earlier. So this was a carryover from January plus some other money, a bonus and whatnot. So $2,000 went in, and then also $658 went in. So that is super exciting. When I had to tap my emergency fund to pay that tax bill, if you remember from early January, if not, the videos are on my channel. I was at 12,210. Now I'm at 12,030. So less than $200 away from where I was at the peak, and my goal is 15,000. So I'm hoping that I can reach that goal by, oh gosh, May? I think May is reasonable. We'll see how it goes. It really depends on how much money I have to spend next month on travel-related expenses and things like that. It is going to be a busy spring with a lot of travel. I'm traveling this month, going to Texas and to Ohio, and then next month I am going to, which is March, I'm going to California for a conference. In April, I am going to Portland for another conference, and then hopefully that's the move. And as soon as I get settled, I have to fly back here in June for my nephew's high school graduation. And then in September, I am going to FinCon in Palm Springs. So lots of flying this year, more flying than I've done in my entire life, but it's all for good things. So, okay, so that is the emergency fund, and I will pop up an image of my Wealthfront account that shows that. I have been taking money out of the account for the big move, so I'm still recording how I'm drawing that down, and I've taken out more than I need to repay or to cover essentially what I've spent on the big move from my checking account. But I know I will have more of those expenses here shortly, so I might put the money back in this account, but I'm just going to have to take it out again later, so I'm in kind of a awkward in-betweeny spot here with how I'm managing this money. But for now, at least I'm tracking where it's going. My checking account continues to increase in value, which doesn't make me entirely comfortable, but it's okay. So that is books. Let's talk about subscribers, because there are a lot of you that are new. So I have been, for those of you who don't know, I have been tracking my subscribers on the road to 1,000, and this week I passed 870, and then I passed 880. So thank you all so much for subscribing and for watching my videos. As I always say, these don't just represent numbers, these are people, and that means a lot. So it just blows my mind that I am almost into the last row here, and soon I will be at the goal, or hopefully I will be at the goal. So I haven't yet made the deposit. Well, I've initiated the transfer, but it takes a couple of days for that to hit Wealthfront, so that will be going in, and next week you'll see this updated to 4,400, or maybe even more if more people subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed already, I will save $5 if you do. Just hit the little subscribe button, and then you will be part of one of these bubbles. So that is it for savings, I think. I don't have anything else started. I still have my Sloth IRA waiting in the wings. If you want to get the tracker, it's available on my Etsy shop. I will be starting that as soon as the emergency fund is fully funded and I'm settled in my new place. And then I've also got other savings goals for the year. Let me go back to the front here. So ReadyBudgetGo seeded at $2,500. This is more or less done, but then I spent that seed money, well, not all of it, but a lot of it on the business, so that needs to work its way back up. Emergency fund is well on its way. That should be at $15,000, like I say, hopefully by May. The big move fully funded may not get there, but I don't think I'm going to need that $15,000. I'll need most of it, or most of what I already have saved, but I don't think I'll need even all that I have saved. So once the big move is done and behind me, that will be coming off the list, regardless of whether I hit $15,000 or not. Contribute the full $7,500 to the Roth IRA. That is the next goal. That's what I'll be using the Sloth IRA tracker for. And then the Blip Fund, fully funded at $2,000. If you haven't heard of my Blip Fund before, let me go back to that. So the Blip Fund, Blip stands for Break Lock If Prompted, and it's this tracker that I have, and this is meant to catch any unexpected expenses that come up where it's not really an emergency, or I don't necessarily want to tap my emergency fund, but I just need extra capital to pay an unexpected bill or something like that. So for the IRS bill, if I'd had anything in my Blip Fund, I would have taken that money first, then gone into the emergency fund. But as it was, I didn't have anything in the Blip Fund, so I had to take it all from emergency, and that is okay. But I want to get that Blip Fund restarted and filled back up. And then once that is done, all sinking funds fully funded by end of year. If you watch my Monday videos, then you'll have seen my sinking funds and what those are and what the goals are. I'm only allocating money to them once a month. I'm saving for it or stockpiling money every week, but then I only do the pushover into the actual sinking funds at the end of every month now. I was doing it every week, but I think I can do it once a month and be okay. So my goal is to get those fully funded by end of year. Will that happen? I don't know. But if I can get all of these others knocked out, then I think I should be able to do it. There's some big ones in there. They're like $5,000 for furniture because I want new furniture. But we'll see, right? We'll see what happens. So anyway, those are my goals for 2026. And now you've seen the progress that I'm making toward them. Thank you so much for tuning in, as I say every week. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like I say, I'll save $5 if you do. And until I see you in the next one, take care.